Welcome to Toppers Talk series, and today I have with me Atharva Kamle, a very energetic, enthusiastic child who came to us just after clearing his class 10th, was very clear कि मुझे law ही करना है, was there for a 2 years program with us, and finally with his class 12th he managed to get AIR 838, cracked NLIU Bhopal, and now he would be studying in the second most oldest law school of the country by year of establishment. So with me is Atharv. Atharv, the first thing that I would want to know from you, I still vividly recall the day that you have come. You were very confident कि मेरे को law ही करना है. So इतनी clarity after class 10th board के मुझे law करना है. What motivated you to pursue a career in law?
So, sir, basically, my father works as a personal assistant in the Indore High Court. So, when I was really small, I used to go with him for the Independence Day and Republic Day celebrations. And I used to see lawyers there, advocates there. They used to be different. They used to be a different aura used to surround them. They were different from the crowd that used to be there. And I wanted to be a part of that crowd, that different group. I wanted to be different from others. I wanted to stand out. That's why I chose law as a career.
So since childhood, you were very, I'll not say fascinated because in the actual world, you see the real lawyers and many times you visited High Court since your father is working at High Court there. So that gave you a feeling or a sense of motivation to be a lawyer or बचपन से देखते हुए आ रहे थे. If you understand this, I mean, one good question I have that what do you think uh, a lawyer should have quality? I mean, the most important qualities that you think every lawyer should have.
I believe there are two important qualities that every lawyer should possess. First is the way a lawyer can articulate. The words they use, the manipulation they use. They can change a sentence into 3, 4 different, 10 ways. And also the logical attitude they have. Uh, you can have different people standing there and you will find a lawyer with his words. They can just ease out the room there.
So two things that Atharv says: one, the art of articulation; B, the logical temperament and the attitude that they have, and the way they solve problem with that approach. Decently, you understood the trick of the trade, Atharv, before even getting into the law school. Uh, at this point in time, you are pretty relaxed because आपके boards March में होने वाले हैं और आपका exam CLAT का 18th December 2022, a day that you'll never forget in your life, is already done. So I believe that starting early gave you an advantage. And you started, and at that time, the exam used to be on second Sunday of May, and suddenly you get to know कि अब मेरा जो exam है वो तो December के second third week में हो जाएगा. So I would want to know what was your strategy in your first and another half year of preparation, not full again. So it was, how was it and what crossed your mind and how did you prepare के पहले concept कर लिए फिर खूब सारी practice और mocks लेके how did you go about it?
So, sir, basically with the advantage that we had, there was also this disadvantage कि बहुत ज़्यादा time है and बहुत ज़्यादा time है तो अब क्या ही पढ़ेंगे धीरे धीरे करते हैं. And my study strategy was differentiated in 3 phases. Like the first year was the different thing where I went slow, I had concepts, I didn't pay much attention to like practice. I paid more attention on concepts like clearing everything, main idea, central idea, all the all the logic, law that we study. I had cleared all that. Then the second part was till CLAT 2022 happened, where I practiced mocks, I did analysis, and then after that, when the CLAT 22 happened, it hit me suddenly that after 6 months I have my CLAT, and I was like that we have to study hard. Then I put in extra efforts, extra hours. I used to study GK in the school hours itself. I used to take my CLAT camps to school and used to sit on the last bench studying my GK part. And that 6 months, from June 19, 2022 to December 18, 2022, those 6 months were the most helpful in my study sessions. Those practice, the extra effort that I put in was the change maker.
I've been a witness to the way Atharv has progressed, and let me be very honest that this child from July till December 2022 actually had no time in his hand. He was regular to school, he was struggling with so many things. What he has mastered above everything was a subtle art of stealing time. I think that one thing, whenever you meet him and you catch hold of him, learn from him, he had that subtle art of stealing time in situations where टाइम इज नॉट विजिबल नहीं है, वो छोटा सा बस में ट्रैवल करने वाला समय हो जाए, वो कभी बैठ के स्कूल में एक्स्ट्रा आवर्स हो, ही हैड, और ये सीरियसनेस ऐसा नहीं था डे वन से थी, बट वंस क्लैट 2022 वाज डन इन जून, he was knowing that 18th December is my D-Day and I have to be on the top of it. So I think that this one thing differentiates him from others when it comes to the CLAT preparation. Atar, usually we come across people saying कि इंडिया के टॉप 3, टॉप 4, टॉप 5 एनएलयूज में तो होता ही नहीं है, मुश्किल होता है 12th के साथ करने में, बहुत सारे एफर्ट्स लगते हैं, शांति से अगले साल ड्रॉप ले लेना फिर करना. तुमने क्लास 10th के बाद ही मन बना लिया था, यू वर प्रीटी क्लियर अबाउट यू हैव टू गो दैट वे, और 12th के साथ तुमने फाइनली नेशनल लॉ स्कूल भोपाल क्रैक कर भी लिया है. So I would want to know that what was your art of managing time and how did you manage these two things? Because as I remember, you were regular to school till November and you were going there, you were not missing tests, you were attending everything, and at the same time you're preparing hard for CLAT. You never missed a mock. Your analysis in last 6 months was going on regular basis. So how did you manage these two things together?
So, sir, first of all, it was really difficult to do CLAT with 12th grade itself, because my school, it's something that makes us difficult, because we had to give a lot of exams, pre-boards, mock tests, then we have practicals, we have to submit projects. But the thing is, what sir told, that I had the ability to steal time. I used to study GK. I used to study GK during the classes. I used to read newspaper in the bus during the bus duration, and also I had this thing. I calculated all my. I was good in math, so I calculated my attendance thing. That itna percentage hoga, I can take 2 leaves a week. So I used to take 2 leaves a week. I used to study. Then I'll do my mock analysis. I'll study GK for the whole week this day, and this is how I used to plan my day. And also that after coming from school, I didn't get much time. Like, so I used to take time. Like I used to study for an hour. I used to take a nap, then I used to study for an hour, then I used to come here, then before sleeping I used to study another hour.
So Atharva, I also see that there are no gains without pain. There were certain sacrifices that you made, and those sacrifices that you made in class 12th, be it your social media, be it giving up on your mobile phone, reducing your screen time, I think these all things paid a great dividend. How do you see on this?
Yes, so that's the most important thing, because if you have a screen time of 3, 4, 5 hours during the last few months of CLAT, that's not going to happen. I personally speaking, I had a screen time of average 3 hours before, like July 2022, and after that
you were a changed person.
I was a changed person.
Indeed.
And I left my phone after Diwali break. Yes. So it was like 2 months of no social media.
I vividly recall that after Diwali breaks.
So basically the sacrifices made were like on my social life. I had no friends. I had no social media contacts. People were like, "Tu karta kya hai din bhar? Why are you studying so much? अगले साल हो जाएगा." But I had decided कि इस साल करना है तो करना ही है.
And Athar, we've always been a very different child when it comes to enthusiasm, high on energy. Tell me, every student has attended that Shanknath session. Every student has been there for those simulated mocks. But everyone could not take as much as you have taken from these exercises. What helped you so much on your D-Day? Because you were able to manage your D-Day well. I still remember exam center से आने के बाद भी you were like pretty कि हाँ ठीक है, जो हो सकता था मैंने कर दिया है. And it's done. और जैसे तुमने सुना कि यार मैथ्स और जीके तो सबके लिए टफ था, तो you were like ठीक है, now it's no problem. And you were like, it's done and I'm done my best, and you are pretty contented. That is in nutshell, if I should say. But D-Day ke din, how did you manage to do that?
So sir, I had two reasons for that. First of all, I followed you religiously. You gave us a mantra that 150 questions, 120 minutes, jo nahi aata chhod do. I kept on recalling it in my mind the whole time, and that was my mindset during the total 2 hours of CLAT exam. And also that I'm a very religious person, just to be noted. I used to visit temple every day, and the energy that God gave me was just a different kind of energy that one could possess. and that helped me a lot in getting the motivation I rightly needed.
अथर्व का हमेशा इस बिलीफ बड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग कन्विक्शन रहता था. हम लोग जो क्लास में बोलते थे कि अगर तुमसे नहीं हो रहा है तो किसी से नहीं हो रहा है, छोड़ दो एंड कीप मूविंग, डोंट गेट स्टक. That was one thing. And second thing, everyone has his own way of feeling enthusiastic, feeling optimistic, feeling zealous. And in all this, Atharv had found his way of finding that right energy from temples, from prayers, from meditations, from seeking blessings. He's a very blessed child. Anyone who would meet him, would bless him so much for the kind of conduct that he has. So I think these all things cumulatively paved a way for him that he have achieved what he was destined to. So Atharv, I would want you to comment upon and very honest comment upon those 80 plus mocks that you have taken, the logical series modules that you have been solving, the classroom sheets and content that you were being given.
Yes.
How do you grade it? And be very honest in your reply. कैसा लगता था? How was the content and how near was it to the exam on the D-Day?
So, sir, to be honest, when I started my study, that I was not at all serious. I didn't
Like everyone.
like everyone.
But July, you were a changed person.
Yes, sir. And after July, I had opened all my modules I had. I solved all of them, and after I solved all of them, I saw a change in me. When I gave mocks, these were like a piece of cake for me. It was so easy to like recall, comprehend, reading speed was increased, and the ability to solve questions, that was a changed person. And when during the CLAT exam, the three sections, like all the reading intensive sections, was so close to what we had studied all around the years, that we had studied in legal, I must say that we had studied contemporary, criminal law, torts, contracts, we had studied everything, constitution, and the things which were there in the CLAT exam were not at all a surprise for all of us, because we had studied that, and that thing helped us a lot.
I think that was the hand of God, that getting consumer protection wala passage.
Yes, yes, sir, we had studied that. Like, I remember that in the last 10-15 mocks, we had around 5-6 passages of consumer protection in legal as well as current as well as CR.
Correct. So, Athar, when it comes to reading, I'm sure that initially you're a bit enthusiastic. फिर थोड़ा सा dip आया preparation में, फिर हमने reading के लिए newspaper वगैरह छोड़ दिया. But once you were there in the month of May, June again, I think you started it religiously, and for your GK and for your reading, I think that played a pivotal role. Everybody thinks that success has just an accident. It's not an accident. People work hard, they work day in day out, and it happens on that pretext. A very different question if I ask you, Athar. We believe, I mean, that might be my bias, but we believe that Vidhik is a lifestyle. I would want to ask you from the core of your heart that, what makes Vidhik different? Why is it different? If at all it is.
Vidhik, what makes Vidhigya different is the mentors, the faculty Vidhigya has. I've been to different coachings for school purposes. I have been to school, but the mentors we get at Vidhigya are just like nowhere else we can get. We can approach them anytime. Like talking about Bahul Sir here, whenever I used to get depressed or like I used to think कि नहीं हो पा रहा है, it's difficult for me, I used to just like text him and he used to like हो जाएगा तुमसे, come to me, meet me, and the motivation I used to get from my mentors now, it was just something very different. We never got this kind of motivation, support from our mentors, never ever in this life. And this is what makes Vidhigya different, the mentors it has, the faculty it has.
So I think the point that makes difference you say is mentors. I feel very happy when you say that, but I do believe that I feel happy not because for the kind words that you have been saying. If you feel so and you are saying, I feel happy for a simple reason that if this is what we could do, we have been adding some value to the life of people in and around us. I think the life we are living is worth living, and the profession we are into, I think that has been God's grace. So, Athar, one important question. Emotions run wild. There are times when you are having a low in your preps. There are times when you're not very scoring high, you're scoring low in your mocks. Things are not working for you. School के भी exams हैं, lined up and चीजें हैं. Things are not happening. How did you maintain a very positive outlook and a very good mental health as well? Because I never found you depressed anytime. Let me be very honest. I found you depressed anytime you're always up with zeal and through and always like okay. So how did you manage? Because lows to the preparation में,
Yes.
dips to the. There were
But
times when fears creeped in. So how did you manage and how did you live up to it?
so, sir, basically everyone has their own techniques to come out of it. And my one technique was like talking to my mentors and getting their help. And the another one was like going to temple, saying God that I have done my best. अब you can't disappoint me. आपने जो मिलेगा मुझे वो मैं ही डिजर्व करता हूँ. उससे ना एक ऊपर ना उससे एक नीचे. जो मैं को डिजर्व करता हूँ मेरे को वही मिलेगा. This was like my strength. And also that हमने मेहनत की है ना, तो जो हमने मेहनत की बस. फॉलो द प्रोसेस इज द थिंग. इफ यू फॉलो द प्रोसेस यू विल गेट योर रिजल्ट. देर विल बी नॉट लाइक कि आपने कुछ किया ही नहीं साल भर और आप AIR 1 ले आओगे, या फिर आपने साल भर पढ़ा है तो आप कुछ नहीं हो पाएगा. आपने जो प्रोसेस फॉलो की है आपको उसका रिजल्ट मिलना ही है.
So what would be your message for all the students who are preparing for law at this point in time, who are looking you at you and trying to know from you what are the success secrets and your message for the law aspirants preparing for CLAT 2024-25?
So basically my message would be that those who are preparing for CLAT, don't just get disheartened. You'll have lows, high, ups, downs, everything in your success. You'll have mocks where you get scores above 100. You'll get mocks where you have scores of below 40, 50 for that matter. But if you get disheartened, that's all. That's done and dusted. You shouldn't get disheartened. You should always be motivated. And for me, like, it's about being optimistic. If you're being optimistic, thinking positive things, there will be positive changes in your life. Like, I just remember one thing. I used to wake up early in the morning, like 5 a.m. So I used to witness the transition from all the way to the darkness, from darkness to light, and that thing used to motivate me. Like, this is the thing we have.
5 a.m. club made a lot of difference.
Yes, so that made a lot of difference. Especially the study which we used to do in the morning and the grasping power we have after a deep sleep. It's just a different thing. And the transition we witness from darkness to the light, that changes our heart, that brings a kind of motivation to us.
The very important thing he says that watch every day morning dawn. When you see that sunrise, it fills you with a lot of hope, lot of energy, lot of enthusiasm, and makes you feel energetic about things you are doing. It's many ways people have to keep them motivated. This was Atharv's way of doing it. I mean, you can give it a try. 5 a.m. club is something which is very close to our heart. 5 a.m. club. I'm very sure we started in 2014 and Robin Sharma writes a book on this title in 2016. So again, you can read that book by Robin Sharma as well. And 5 a.m. club is something that every Vidhigyan should look at. Wake up at 5 morning, do your GK well, and feel that blissful environment. If you miss that, you miss something. Don't be asleep when nature has a lot to give to you. So it was wonderful talking to you, Atharv, and I'm sure that your insights and the way you have opened your heart and revealed the way you prepared, I think it would be a motivation to many. With this, I think I say to everyone that करते रहिए मेहनत लगे रहिए संभव है हो जाएगा कभी भी मेहनत करना मत छोड़ना और उम्मीद का दामन ना छोड़ना. So that's all from our end. Stay happy, stay energetic and stay logical with Vidhigya. Your best pal in CLAT Preps. याद रखना जीतना तो हमें ही है. All the best.